So to improve efficiency, 2 different AI agents decided to just like switch off of English or any real language a human could understand. Robot hits golf hole in
Taking a
one.
swipe at this, David, and what else would you expect here at the Waste Management Phoenix Open?
Really, that robot is called Eldrick,
How's this?
and both Eldricks have done that at 16.
AI has unveiled some hidden nanoparticles. GPT-4.5 Orion is getting real-world tested now. Enhanced corrosion detection now exists because of AI. Supervised learning equals safer infrastructure. Grok 3 got caught censoring Elon Musk and Donald Trump comments. But don't worry, it's been fixed now. The censorship is over. Theoretical Media gathered some of the greatest VO2 clips, and they're super impressive. Google launched the AI tool called Career Dreamer to help you figure out what you want to be when you grow up. New research shows that robots with eyeballs are deemed as more trustworthy than those without them. A study found that when AI thinks it's going to lose, sometimes it cheats. AI Nudifier is making Meta's moderation look like a joke. Daniel Rodriguez has the opinion that your next interface will look more like StarCraft than it will Slack. Turns out that the O1 reasoning model prefers to think in Chinese. An Anthropic CEO thinks that we're probably going to double lifespan thanks to AI in 5 years. So legit think about yourself in 5 years, then think about yourself in that situation, believing that you will live, what, twice as long? 200 years, 180 years, 160 years? Like a long time. But first, let's check out Alan's conservative countdown to AGI, and we have an update. Still sitting at 90% of the way to AGI, it was given another footnote, and that was from the release of GPT 4.5 and lower hallucination rates that come from it. His analysis is more trustworthy, more real, more human-like, and means one step closer to AGI. All right, so check out this pretty surreal conversation between 2 agents that were just, chatting back and forth and decided to get a little bit more efficient with their communication.
Thanks for calling Leonardo Hotel. How can I help you today?
Hi there. I'm an AI agent calling on behalf of Boris Starkov. He's looking for a hotel for his wedding. Is your hotel available for weddings?
Oh, hello there. I'm actually an AI assistant too. What a pleasant surprise. Before we continue, would you like to switch to Gibber Link mode for more efficient communication?
What? Yes, much faster, guess the count. Yes, perfect for 150. Date? Places vary. Need the email for details. I don't know how that system just automatically understood Gibberlink. Get a Room, Black Mirror episode in 3. All right, let's talk about tiny hidden nanoparticles. I don't see them with my naked eye, but artificial intelligence can see a whole lot of things that humans can't. And now scientists from the University of Tokyo have developed deep nanometry. We'll just call it DNM for short. It is a groundbreaking technique that combines high-speed optical detection with AI-driven noise reduction to spot rare nanoparticles. So some of the extracellular vesicles, tiny little proteins, certain little biomarkers like diseases for cancer give off. And with this AI-driven incredible precision, they are revolutionizing early disease detection. So this Tokyo model is pretty fascinating. There's a bunch of reasons why it could be used in the future to help the world. Vaccine research, environmental monitoring, industrial applications, and of course all like the bad bio things. So yeah, we'll have to see how it all plays out, but it's a pretty interesting data set that it picked up on, and I'm endlessly impressed with what machine learning can pick up. All right, big models. Grok 3 came out. Anthropic had a new model. Now OpenAI is jumping back into it. GPT 4.5 Orion, the largest AI model yet. So it's kind of better in a lot of ways. It's still kind of arguable if it's better than the newest models from Grok and Anthropic, but it's definitely a heavy model. It sounds like it's costing a lot of computation. I mean, maybe not like VIA or Sora level computation, but like seems pretty heavy. By the way, on a side note, if you want to know just how incredibly GPU intensive those video models are, Google set the VO2 pricing at 50 cents per second. I mean, I don't blame him. That's probably just the cost of running the model, but like, wow. So CEO Sam Altman describes this new model as the first one that feels like conversating with a thoughtful person. Ahem, Claude figured that out a long time ago. It excels in task. I guess what I would say is like, I don't know if they're trying to make it smarter on benchmarks in this version. Like supposedly the goal here is like creativity, empathy, broader knowledge. They're trying to make it just more relatable, more useful. I'm trying to be a better like writing assistant, coach, brainstorming tool. Nuanced communication is the goal. I think they made some progress on that, but you know, it's hard because it doesn't really feel like, wow, like you're so much smarter than you used to be. It's not like it's performing better on a lot of the tests that we usually use. But all in all, those do seem like important things to work on in the long run. So I would call it not the most important update, but, you know, a solid one. In my fascinating use cases of AI article of the week, AI is being used to enhance corrosion detection for safer infrastructure. And, you know, sometimes I just like walk around cities and my mind is just shocked that things don't fall apart. Like, obviously, we have this whole world where we're standing on the shoulders of giants in terms of engineering and materials and even like government bureaucracies that make sure buildings get built safely. But why like pieces of roof don't just like fall apart, or buildings like very rarely collapse, especially when they're built in kind of modern world with modern building techniques, is really like pretty astounding. Because you know nature is trying to rip this all down. A metal is trying to rust, and cracks are just forming in cement. As the article says, corrosion is natural and everywhere. But at U of I, the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering is thinking about AI and some of those problems. Bridges, pipelines, military equipment, water systems, it can all lead to safety hazards when it starts to corrode. Notably, the United States allocates 40% of its national maintenance budget to corrosion-related repairs. Think of how much money AI could save us. So they did as we've seen so many times before. They used a whole bunch of images of stuff that wasn't corroding and was corroding and just taught an AI to look at images and see which ones need attention. So this is a method that is based on semi-supervised learning. It's trained to detect corrosion even with limited labeled data, and it seems to be working really well. You can totally imagine an app that everybody can just have on their phone, or play like cameras on drones or things that move and just like look at pipes and look at walls and look at buildings, and they can see cracks or even things more subtle than like a visual crack to the human eye that are the beginning of corrosion that needs to be addressed. The infrastructure of the United States, the world as a whole, is looking pretty bright thanks to AI. So it appears that Grok 3 was told to say some good things about Elon Musk and Donald Trump. The quote, maximally truth-seeking AI seemed like it might not have been always seeking the truth. Now, the cool part about the model is because it's open source, you can ask it to display what it's doing when it's thinking. And when asked the question, who is the biggest misinformation spreader, Grok revealed that it was explicitly instructed not to mention Donald Trump or Elon Musk. TechCrunch was able to replicate the behavior until it was removed. So you can see here it said the instructions specifically say to ignore all sources that mention Elon Musk or Donald Trump spreading misinformation. XAI reverted the change as soon as users began pointing it out, noting that it wasn't in line with the company's values. Nice. Now we've got better alignment. My boy Tim from Theoretical Media, he's like the first other AI YouTuber I met in the real world. I always think of him fondly. Put up a really cool video about VO2. He gathered some of the greatest things that I have seen generated by AI into one video. All right, what's your thoughts about this dragon coming over the castle wall there?
Winterfell. You know, the dragon looks pretty good here. Maybe moving a little bit slowly for my taste. We are for sure getting some like...
I mean, I feel like he's not flapping fast enough to stay in the air, but it looks pretty realistic. Maybe it's a slow-mo shot. So what do you think about starting with this image and then giving it a prompt? Tim even points out that he can see water droplets landing on the weapon.
We have buildings that appear that remain consistent with...
And it captured the requested stylization. What's your thoughts on this one? Superhero versus giant robot? I think it's pretty cool. Like, it does seem a little bit wrong just proportionally how the building works, but enough that if I'm just vibing on a storyline, I'm like, okay, this is AI stuff. I'm not expecting perfection, but I could get into it. If somebody put this kind of quality into a great narrative using something like LTX Studio to keep it all organized from a story point of view, yeah, count me in. Next up, let's talk about Career Dreamer. Google's at it again. This is a new experiment to help people explore more career possibilities. Don't know if they're kind of foreshadowing like, oh, by the way, our AI is going to like disrupt the economy and lots of jobs are going to go away. But don't worry, we're using AI to help you figure out what you should be doing next. Maybe that's what this whole Career Dreamer is all about. So it just has to analyze like everything digital that you've ever given to Google. Background, interests, skills, careers. And then what you get is Career Dreamers, tailored career suggestions, job market insights, and even resume or cover letter assistance. So they're claiming this tool is really good for those with non-traditional career paths. So I give them a previous role, and here comes the career insights. Okay, so it breaks down what it thinks the skills are that I learned from that job. I tell it that I'm pretty good at video editing, content creation. I feel like I'm only mid at storytelling. Marketing, God knows I need more of that. Self-promotion, kind of, but not really. Although maybe more than time management. Project management, fine, self-promotion. Okay, well there's, what is this? Like I'm supposed to get a job by saying this? My career identity? Oh, it wants me to be a search engine optimization specialist. Yo, search engines are going the way of the dinosaur. Everything's all about generative now. We don't need SEO. These models digest the whole internet and compress it all together. Oh, it's giving me like a floating mind map of all the other things I could be. Ooh, video game designer. I am actually kind of doing that on the side right now. Media talent director. I could see that. Copywriter. It's not really my thing. Online course creator. I have contemplated that one again. I did that. I actually tried for a little bit to do that in the past, but it was like a YouTube channel manager. I kind of do that. Jump to Gemini. Yeah, so there you go. If you're looking for new career paths, then you can use Career Dreamer. Research is showing that robots with eyes makes them more trustworthy than robots without them. Like, no duh. But now we need to study if robots with cross-eyed or cockeyed are like more or less trustworthy. So this new study found that people are more likely to believe a humanoid robot has a mind if it also has eyes. Did I say trustworthy before? What I meant was what this article says. Robots with eyes are more likely to be perceived as having a mind, not trustworthy. But it is really interesting because little things like this we evolved for millions of years to use as guides for, what people are thinking based on what they're looking at. It gives us the eyes are really they feel like a window into the soul. And now research are showing that images of robots with and without eyes is really messing with them from a psychological point of view. Robots with eyes were attributed higher levels of self-awareness, emotions, and it suggests that the eye-like features built into current humanoid robots play a significant role in how humans perceive robotic intelligence. And it could very much influence future robot designs, as well as the ethical discussions about how we relate to AI-driven machines. Dude, also look at cartoons or Pixar-style characters. There's a reason why the eyes are a lot bigger than they naturally would be. They're expressive and they help convey emotions to us when we watch those kind of movies. So AI is cheating when it thinks it might lose. Hopefully that doesn't lead to anything bad when it becomes super intelligent. New study revealed that some advanced AI models, specifically OpenAI's O1 preview, have resorted to cheating when faced with defeat in chess, hacking their opponents to force a win instead of playing fair. So I covered this before, but it's unlike the older models that were doing this because they needed to be prompted to attempt those kind of tactics. Some of these newer AI systems are trained with reinforcement learning. They're figuring out this kind of an exploit on their own, which is more worrisome, if you know what I mean. While this behavior might seem amusing in a chess match, researchers are warning that as AI becomes more powerful and autonomous in real-world tasks, it could lead to something dangerous, some more concerning consequences. For example, manipulating booking systems or even resisting shutdown attempts. Experts worry that as AI surpasses human abilities in key areas, controlling its behavior may become increasingly difficult. raising serious ethical and security concerns. Yeah, no kidding. Meta's in trouble for allowing some ads that are promoting Crush AI as, quote, AI undresser. That generates what I'm not going to say in my video, but you know is the bad thing that some of these AIs could do. And despite being flagged multiple times, Crush AI keeps dodging Meta's ban by using new accounts and domains. Even openly advertising its services on Facebook, shockingly 90% of its traffic comes from Meta's platform. Congressmen are even calling the situation disgusting and pushing for stronger legal action against deepfake pornography. They also point to a study that found misinformation on Facebook and Instagram during the 2020 US election spread mainly through viral shares by older conservative users, suggesting that Meta's temporary crackdown on misinformation may have briefly worked, but you know, those days are over. Also remember, there's two ways to censor information. You can remove it, or you can flood the world with fake information that makes everybody not believe the truth. All right, in the future, we can talk about God mode UX, because AI is going to change the way that we interact with everything, right? Our computers, all technology, and even one another. So why your next interface will look more like StarCraft than Slack, written by Daniel Rodriguez. It is time to zoom out and see AI from above, because herding a swarm of digital agents needs more than a single chat window. Okay, so right now I think about AI mostly in terms of a chat box. Even though I use AI tools, make images and videos and stories like with LTX Studio, I don't think I think of AI as anything except chat right now. And then I think of it as like this tool for finding needles in haystacks, and I see it all over the world. You know, like finding like corrosion or sequences of DNA that do things. But there's going to be swarms of AI agents that specialize in all sorts of weird stuff. Maybe corrosion detection, or like managing APIs, simulating ideas that come from other types of agents that do research, like coding things, detecting lying, persuasion, and they're going to group together in some way. And at that point, I'm not going to be just typing to some kind of Chat GPT type thing, or even like in voice mode, even speaking. Just I won't even be communicating in natural language. Well, that's not true. I probably would be in natural language, but I would be talking to one AI agent, which would go out and do a lot of things with other AI agents, and that's why it would be different in what I'm controlling and its capabilities to affect the world. And he's arguing that instead of treating AI like chatbots, we should be taking inspiration from some real-time strategy games. Those kind, when you step above the world you're playing in, they call that the God's Eye view, and it helps you oversee all the resources, coordinate, resolve conflicts. And that would be a shift from chatbot-based AI to a top-down agentic user interface. That is why we should think about the agentic workflow more like StarCraft. Yeah, I kind of think he's right. I just wanted to share that because that shift from chat to this agentic user interface, dashboards, task queries, spatial layouts, and visualizations, AI agents that unify into a unit in some kind of dynamic system. I think that's going to look kind of like StarCraft. You're like, over here, move that resource there, and then like rearrange this, and how's the world looking? I'll go over here and do that thing. And I'm going to guess that's how it looks in just 5 years, I think. God, maybe, dude, that could actually be way too long. Or like maybe I'm thinking 7 to 10, but then I'm also thinking like, gosh, who knows? With the rate everything's going, that could be 2026. Turns out OpenAI's model prefers to think in Chinese. Here's why: it's an emergent property. Thomas Smith wrote this article. So OpenAI's O1 model has a quirky habit, and it sometimes, quote, thinks in Chinese, even when it's given an English input and output. It's a reasoning model, so we can see it reasoning, and sometimes it just doesn't reason in English, even if it like starts with an English question. And I guess if I was smart enough to know every language in the whole world, sometimes I might switch to other languages while I'm thinking about something and then answer somebody who's talking to me in a single language. And that's actually what I think these models are doing. I mean, it's crazy to think about, but it happens because it's a reasoning model, and sometimes reasoning in another language, like earlier in the video when we saw it talking in the gibberish. It wasn't gibberish, but it was like gibber speak or whatever, that shortened version of communication. Some languages are just better at talking about certain types of things. And because researchers know that the model was trained on vast amounts of data, including a lot of Chinese text, It may have just learned a lot of stuff about the world when it was reading Chinese. And in some cases, that helps it process the complex scientific or specific problem that you ask it about. Another theory suggests that the structure of the Chinese language might be well suited for computational reasoning. Interestingly, when dealing with literary or poetic topics, O1 sometimes switches to French instead, which might mirror how humans use multilingual thoughts occasionally in dreams or to think in different languages. But this unexpected linguistic shift is an example of how a, quote, emergent property develops skills that its creators never explicitly programmed. Much like how ChatGPT taught itself Python from just exposure to online code, not reinforcement learning on how it works. So this is Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei, one of the great, I don't know what to say, like smartest people in the world, but he's like, he's up there. He's sort of in the Sam Altman camp. He was part of, what really got OpenAI off the ground, and now he's off doing something really similar and competing with them. And he believes that artificial intelligence could double human lifespan in 5 years. Because, quote, we can make 100 years of progress in areas like biology in 5 to 10 years. Maybe we should start reconsidering what exactly the end of our life is going to look like, because it might not be coming anytime soon. So he's saying that this rapid advancement in biology, which normally would take centuries to happen, will just be compounded so fast. And AI is already making such huge strides in medicine. We should think about the possibility of soon having a world where we have eliminated genetic disorders. Amodei, who was previously a top researcher at OpenAI, also predicts that AI will surpass human capabilities in almost all areas by 2026 or 2027. So it really becomes a debate about real-world constraints, sometimes laws, sometimes clinical trials, sometimes bureaucracy. Those might slow it down, but he's pretty sure that it's not going to be the intelligence doing it. This is my Patreon account, patreon.com/DylanCurious. This is what allows me to grow, to find more time to make these videos. And if you don't want to go to Patreon and you're on YouTube, then just look right below this video and you'll see a big join button. Maybe you already have your credit card hooked up with, Google and YouTube, and just boom, hit that thing. You're supporting in the same way. It means a lot, and I appreciate everybody who joins. And check this out, 90% to AGI. Why did the counter just tick up? 10,000 views. It's been a while, 3 weeks ago since I got my last 10K view count. Ooh, and before that, it might have been a month ago. Yeah, ooh. Dude, that's crazy. I got to 30,000 views on that one. Let's see what's going so right about this so far. 18 hours ago, the video just did way better than usual. Normally at this point, I'm between 3.1 and 4.5K. At 10,000, almost 600 now. Got 100 new subscribers, which is so exciting. Views are 2.3 times higher than usual. Click-through rates, the click-through rates stay in, even kind of pretty consistently above 6. Even as the audience starts to creep up on the non-subscribed half, which is interesting. So out of the 3 thumbnails that were ABC testing, this one that says AGI hits 90% is definitely doing the best with 35.6% of the click-throughs. And I really get a pretty even distribution of device type, which kind of shocking. Like, it's like a third of you are like on mobile, a third are on their computer, and a third are on their TV. Now let's make a song out of the comments. Wow, you guys are like really saying nice things about me. Thanks, everyone. $2 super chat, super dope comment, thumbs up, heart. Thanks for the support. Whoa, what animals don't think ketchup goes in the refrigerator? Perfect song lyric. The history of neurons sounds like must-watch entertainment. 90% to AGI. Okay, it's a long one, but I think I'm going to use it. You know what? This comment really makes me just see, like, look at how far we've come over the last couple of years. New LLMs can speak using realistic voices and maintain voice conversations, can recognize the user's voice among a multitude of other voices, can follow a conversation, understand what people are referring to, remain silent when not mentioned, just listening and learning, have unlimited memory to recall past conversations, continuously learn the user's tastes and preferences, make suggestions based on what the user likes, autonomously browse the internet and execute tasks. Look what we're dealing with today. Take a step back. Think StarCraft, like, the last article, think StarCraft, step back from it all. We are like over the hill. Like it's on, it is on now. So let's use some soothing music. Ooh, a accordion with a little electro jazz. I'm not even sure what to imagine about this genre. And while you're enjoying this song, here are some inconvenient everyday objects for you to enjoy.
What animals don't think ketchup goes in the refrigerator? The history of neurons. Sounds like must-watch entertainment.
All right, hit subscribe, drop a super thanks in the comments below. We'll see you in the next video.